Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. I was really excited when I heard about Castle Rock because I'm a huge fan of Twin Peaks and some shows that are based around towns, and I like the idea of just focusing on a town and having all the sort of mysteries you can have, all the dramas you can have, it's just a big scope, and it feel main that sort of this sort of Stephen King universe always felt like the town I grew up in. So I've always sort of liked Castle Rock, and I was a little disappointed by the first season, partly because I didn't recognise some of the characters that were in it from the novels, because I didn't read all of them. I read a few of them when I was a kid. I watched the movies, and I haven't had time to read a Stephen King book in I don't want to say decades, but a long time. I think the last book I read was on writing, so obviously that wasn't a fictional book. But I mean, they had I think the niece of Jack Torrance. Who were the characters? There's really no one I recognised from the show, and they had the kid who just. It's a complicated story. The first season, it's also kind of a mystery where you do watch because you want to see what happens next, but you don't really. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't really care about any of the characters. I wasn't familiar with some of them. Sissy Spacek was great, of course. But yeah, I just sort of went through it. I'm like, okay, let's hope the second season's better. Now, the second season starts off interesting. It took me a while to work out who the main character was. I actually didn't know who it was right away. But the main character for season 2 is Annie Wilkes. And we all know Annie Wilkes, of course, that, cock-a-doodle dirty bird. And she's fabulous. But they delve way too far into her life. The series starts off with her and her daughter crashing their car in Castle Rock and getting stuck there, and then getting sucked into a whole lot of stories there. Now, I can see why they cancelled this show after season 2. I can see why season 2 had some issues, because they immediately start off with some political stuff. They go into the immigration argument. They go into the issues with the local Somali community and the local community, and all those issues with racism and assimilation and all these sort of things. And it's not sort of what I would have thought of as a Castle Rock story or a Stephen King story or even an entertaining story. It's sort of more of a documentary that you want to watch, not necessarily a situation you want to spend your evening with. So it wasn't really fun, that part of the story. But that, fortunately, got put to the side a few episodes in, and they focused a bit more on Annie. And I didn't realise right away it was Annie. It took me a while, and I didn't understand how it could be her, because she's younger, and of course the other character died, and I'm like, are they just pretending like this is a different time? Because it wasn't a period piece, and she had a daughter. I'm like, did she have a daughter in the novel? I don't remember having a daughter in the novels. The novel, I read it. I don't remember that. I watched the film. I don't remember that, but I did read it. It was the first book I ever read, actually. First novel I ever read. I learned how to read to read that book, but I don't remember much of it, aside from the cover and finishing it. And in fact, my dad was mowing the lawn outside while I was reading it. They really, really go too far into her story, and they spend all this time on her mental illness, her bipolar and manic depressive, and she seems to be misdiagnosed or have different diagnosis, or her own sort of idea of what she has and her own idea of how to medicate and self-medicate, and it's very messy. And the daughter is a bit of a mess, of course. And then they get into the real mess of the show, which is where they show the Marsden house, and they show that there are like catacombs underneath it, and bodies and things. And what they eventually have is they have a possession of the town where a witch from long ago somehow manages to bring forward a chosen one in the current time, and the whole town literally gets possessed and walks through the town in a parade with the statue of this chosen one. And they try and kill everyone else in the town that doesn't hear this noise and become entranced by this movement. So the rest of the show is these few people struggling to survive against the group, and it ends on mysterious terms. I won't really, I'm not going to spoil anything. This is sort of spoiler-free reviews. I enjoyed it more than the first season. I was disappointed overall by the two They should have gone more of a Twin Peaks style where they had a couple of characters to fixate on and things happening around them instead of just going from character to character and then those characters going, and the town was more in the background. It wasn't really the center, and I don't know. I mean, I felt they got in too far into Annie. It was kind of interesting how they ended it off with her where she ends up sort of before the movie, but it just seems like they just invented a whole life for her that she didn't really need to have. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, if you watched it, if you enjoyed it. I was disappointed. I really was hoping to get more. I enjoyed Kingdom Hospital more. And The New Shining, and Salem's Lot more than this. But J.J. Abrams, what can I say? Mystery box, you get all excited and find there's nothing in there. I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.